Hey all, it's Dinosa, and as you can see, it's been a while, and I've let the beard grow. I don't know, I'm probably going to shave it. I got a new shaving kit from a friend of mine here with all the bells and trims and shave the head and everything here, and yeah, I let myself go a little bit. But that's because I wanted to see what the full beard looked like, um, but that's another issue. I'm doing this review. Someone asked me to do Loopers, reviewing this movie Loopers, starring Bruce Willis and some B actor. I don't know who he is. Um, but the whole movie is, once again, we have another one of these movies that talks about time travel and how the past or the future can change. It's kind of a play on things. And the unfortunate thing in my generation, we have all kind of worked into a thing that the Back to the Future parallel universe kind of thing, whereas that an event in the past can skew everything and mess everything up. So just that little bit of knowledge. So many other television and movies have touched on this. Star Trek: The Next Generation, they did it all the time. Their funniest one was actually in First Contact, their big movie, where the Borg were attacking Earth and they went into the past to simulate the future, but in the warp or the time thing, when the Enterprise was right behind the Borg, somehow it protected it from the time changes and everything. It was like it was a decent movie, but it still was like the logic there isn't there. But anyway, well, this movie takes place in Kansas in 2044, and what was funny about it is 2044 in Kansas, everybody's still driving Chevys that were built in probably 2010. Now, you may think that's crazy. That's really not, because people in Kansas and even in California drive Chevys and Fords from the 1950s. So this is not a surprise. But of course, you see your high-end cars as well. The flying motorcycles they ripped off from Star Trek, the new movie. That was the funniest thing. A flying motorcycle that's supposed to drive like a Harley Davidson with a jet engine. Makes no sense, but okay. I mean, this thing was down to the gears and tranny look, and it's like, dude, this is a jet engine. What would it have to do with the spinning tranny? It's stupid, but I'm getting a little sidetracked about it. But what I'm talking about is movie Looper. The whole concept is that time travel is illegal once it was invented, and the only people who could do it are criminal organizations. Well, because the world has been tagged so badly, and with people with identification chips and GPS, it's almost impossible to get rid of a body. So what they do is they send them back in the past, so people, these called loopers, kill them. And well, they're just paid assassins. All they do is they wait, body shows up, bang, they're dead, they bury them or incinerate them or get rid of them. And since in the past nobody has this technology, no one's looking for it. Here, but part of this contract as far as assassins is one day they're going to close the loop, which means they're going to send you back, the assassin back to kill you. Interesting concept. I never really even thought about this, but that's part of the deal. Is you'll have 30 years of riches and fame and everything, but and a golden payment, but you'll have just nothing. But after those 30 years, you have to go back and be killed. Okay, so the whole concept of this film is this: one of these jump back loopers to close the loop escapes, tells one of the other assassins that what's happening in the future and how there's this great evil or holy terror that's causing them closing all the loops. Well, what happened was this guy goes to our main character, Sam, I think his name. I don't know. It was just so whatever, dude. So he tells him, and he hides him in a floor safe where all of his silver is. Oh, that's really smart. Let's hide the guy in the spot where our money is. That's smart. And this guy hides a guy thinking he's going to help him out, but in reality, these are time travelers. They're going to figure it out anyway. So he hides the guy. They buys him a little time. And then what happens is the head boss wants to talk to our main character, Sam, I think is again his name is, and then tells him everything what happened. Okay, so what happens is that Sam talks to the head boss. His name is Abe, and Abe was actually from the future, came back to help kind of regulate things, and he actually took power. Doing all this because he had all this knowledge. So anyway, they tell Abe, "Look, we'll make you a deal. You tell us where this guy is. You keep your silver. If you don't tell us, give us half your silver, and it goes free." And Sam gives up his friend. Now here's the thing. There is a play on Christianity with this, with the silver. Give me half your silver, 30 pieces of silver. There's a bit of a play on this. So what he did, it was blood money. He gave him up. Actually, it's all blood money, but he gave up the guy to save his silver. So eventually, the next loop where it comes in, well, this is Sam in the future. It's him that he has to kill him. Now, for some reason, this one that came back didn't have a head loop, didn't have anything. Comes in and turns around, takes a hit, throws. He has a gold strap to his back. He turns around when Sam fires, so the bullet hits Sam. He falls over. Sam walks over to him. He takes a piece of gold off and throws it at him, and then he distracts him, walks up and punches him as a young boy. So then what happens is that he escapes, and Sam goes on, tries to catch him, and he's pissed off Abe, and it's the typical hero. And then what happened was in his stupid logic, he goes back to his apartment to try to get what silver he can to get out of town. And he gets there, and the people are already waiting for him there. Then he falls off the building. He gets to get into a gunfight, falls off, hits his head. Now he flashes back to something where he kills his older self. Okay, and then takes the gold, and then goes on, has a normal life. But 30 years later, the mob says it's time to pay your debt to go back. Here's where the movie gets a little confusing. There's a first part where he doesn't kill himself in the future, himself that was from the future back to the past. Okay, but then he has a flash where he did, and then he goes back to where he didn't. And now, the reason for this is because he was thinking, because when he fell off the building and hit the ground, or in this case a car, he was thinking about what he should have done. So eventually, they run off, and then the two Sams meet up at this restaurant after everybody's chasing for them, and this is like some hick restaurant out in the middle called Beatrix. And they look at each other, and his dad says, "You're a coward. You're a stupid young kid. You don't know anything. You're going to meet the love of your life and everything, and you're going to blow this. You're going to blow everything." And he says, "Why are you here?" He says, "I know the guy caused all the mess, the Holy Terror," which, interesting enough, the movie calls him the Rain Man. Well, the Rain Man, actually, the term is very popular in hip-hop communities, and it's an allegory, believe it or not, for Lucifer or Satan. It's a fallen demon. It's very occultic, the Rain Man. Look it up on YouTube. All these hip-hop, during their concerts, say, "I believe in the Rain Man." It's there. It's everywhere. And what happened was, he tells this kid, "I know where this kid is, and I'm going to kill him, and this is the number that shows where he is." And what happened was, it turns out that he lists 3 of the addresses. Then the two get into a fight. They escape. The younger person has one address, and the one address happens to be this girl, which I guess she's a prostitute in the city or something. I don't know. It's so confusing. But she knows about loopers and everything. But it's never quite explained how she knows about loopers or these guys. She just knows. So what happens is he gets there and she tells him what the numbers that he had was the birthday and hospital code, and there were only 3 kids born. Now, this is where the movie gets really kind of, I think, really interesting for a movie, is that Bruce Willis actually kills kids in it. He killed 2 kids. No, he killed 1 kid, and his reality did not go back, so he killed the wrong kid. And he'll have to live with that. Then he goes to kill the second kid, and he gets caught by the bad guys. Okay, but then but then the third kid, the real kid, turns out he has some telekinetic powers that can move buildings and stuff, like destroy everything. And it turns out the telekinetic kid, accidentally killed his aunt that was babysitting him because he got mad in his telekinetic powers. So it turns out this kid in the farm was the Looper, or the Rain Man, because of his telekinetic powers. It's a mutation. And it's basically, it gets crazy after that, because this kid they're kind of building him up as like the Antichrist because he can do all these things in telekinetic because he had such a love of life. But see, during the whole Looper phase, the young Looper and the old guy is killing these kids. The old guy then kills all the bad guys so that nobody here, drives the truck to the farm where the young guy is and tells him, get in the truck, I've got all the money from there, just have yourself a normal life, disappear. And he says, you're going to kill that kid. He said, yes, I'm going to kill that kid because that kid ruined everything for everybody. And then what happened is during the whole chase, the young Looper realizes the only reason why this guy went on the tear he did because he saw his mother murdered in front of him by a Looper. So what he did is he turned the shotgun on him and killed himself, thus killing the old guy. Now, this doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, number one, I'm not even going to touch the occultic references of Rain Man, Holy Terror, Antichrist, all that. I'm not even going to touch that. What I'm going to touch about is the physics. First of all, time travel, which is, there is possibilities, but we don't have a power source yet to do it. But the second thing I will touch is the concept of, if you killed yourself in the past, chasing yourself because they're going to do it here, then all the stuff you did while chasing yourself